was going to show the recipe, but I forgot to film it last night what I did. So this is a real quick and easy recipe that even a bachelor that's hungover could do. Okay, now we're going to start. I'm going to explain what I did last night. So focus on the food, baby. Start with the mustard. And you see this roast in here? You want to get Porky's butt in your hand. This is the Boston Porky Pig butt roast. So you put Porky's butt in your hand, then you rub his butt with this mustard. And you want to be as liberal as you want, because this mustard is going to sit overnight and work itself in there, along with the other stuff that I put in there, and it will reduce the fat when cooking. Believe it or not, it works, doesn't it, baby? Yeah, that was horse, by the way. Then what I did was I rubbed dry rub. You can use any dry rub. I did this because it was on clearance, but it's KC Masterpiece dry rub. They still make this. It's just Walmart's not carrying it up here anymore. And what you do is you sprinkle it on there. You want to gently rub it. You know, make sure you treat it really good. You rub that Porky's butt. Okay. That's not all. Anyway, then what I did differently this time is, see, I got Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce, no alcohol included in this, by the way. You're going to have to add that on your own. Then what I did is I used a spoon and I gently rubbed it in. And if you notice, I set this overnight, and look at the juices here. I won't even have to add water. Sometimes you have to add a cup or a cup and a half water, but the mustard's already drawing out some of the fat and all that, and just let that cook for about 4 hours on low, 2 hours on high. But the trick is, when you put this in the refrigerator overnight, you gotta let it set out for an hour, because the crock pot, the shell right here, the ceramic shell, will crack if you put it directly on heat. So you set it out for an hour, then you put it on the slow cooker. I will show that process, the end of the process next, where the bone in here should easily come out. Sometimes you'll have to put it on high for 3 hours. You just check it after 6 hours to see if it's done. You want it so that when you take it out, you can use a fork to sift through whatever little fat it is, and therefore you got pulled pork. I'll show you the end in a little bit later on, okay, when it's done. Talk to you later. Okay, I let this cook for approximately 7 hours. I did 4 hours on low. Well, actually 5 hours, but I did 4 hours on low, 2 hours on high. Then I checked it and decided it needed a little bit more, and I just turned it down on low for an hour. And if you see this right here, this black stuff, that's the rub. It's not burnt. You see how the bone is separating from the meat? It means it's done. So I got a noodle thing to help me pick it up, but watch this. The bone should just come out without me even doing anything. Well, it did a little bit, but there we go. I prefer bone-in pork butt roast because it has more flavor, but there's less meat. That's the only drawback. If you have boneless, what I would do is score the meat, meaning I would cut into the meat, and that way you can rub it all in there and all that and make it taste better. But the bone just adds a little bit of flavor. So what I do is I take my fork, separate it. Now there's still a little bit of fat because it was on the inside, but I'll separate it with the fork and it'll come out, and that's what the fork is for. Alright, so there's the bone. Never give the bone to a dog. It will perforate the esophagus or the stomach, or even twist their stomachs. Never do that. But if you can look, the outside of the fat, the mustard rendered it, meaning that there's less fat. And it should fall apart. And there it goes, it's fall apart. This is going to be real easy. Then what I do is I'm going to go get a bowl for right now, since I forgot to get that, and I'm going to use a fork and separate the fat and the meat real quick. Now, I didn't make a lot because the last time they didn't eat a lot, but I got fries in the oven for them. So see how tender this is, and see how colorful it is and all that. Now I'm going to add a little bit of barbecue sauce, and I'm going to separate it and all that. And I'll probably start separating it. I'll start getting let me get a bowl, and I'll be right back. Or a plate bowl. What I'll do is I'll start separating this with my fork. This is how easy it is. You just need a fork. see that fat right there? Is that fat? Nah, that's not fat. I gotta find the fat. I'll find the fat easier. There's some fat right there. And I just separated it and all that. It's real easy. That's fat right there. Here's the taste. I'll taste it. Oh, it's juicy and it's flavorful. Now the mustard is supposed to render the fat, but it also adds a little bit of flavor in it. And this is another thing we do, is we eat separate from the kids because Dakota's so hands-on. So we'll eat much later, but that's okay. That's the way we have to do it around this house. There's some fat right there. Oh, that's meat. Oh, I see some fat right there. Now you might get some meat with this fat, but you want to get all the fat out you can. But there's a lot less fat than what there was. This was covered in fat. And I'm drooling. I hope I don't mix it up with the meat. Porky pig's butt roast. This is a Boston pork board butt roast, bone in. Sometimes you have to use your hands. It's kind of warm still. There's some fat in there. You can see the fat in there, but it's really not that much fat. Oh, there's some fat right there, I think. But see how it does? My wife wants me to use the spaghetti noodle thing. But see how it easily pulls away? You want to strain it. You don't want to put too much clump of meat because people will tend to overeat on the meat and it won't spread out. But another tip I decided to do that I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to add some juice to it after I get this done. Is that fat? No. My eyesight's not as good, so my wife will catch it if she'll point it out to me. But anyways, this is a great meal to do if you have some kids and stuff, because it's real easy. Like I said, it's rub the mustard on, put the dry rub, whatever dry rub you want to put on there. Work it in if you want to. I just drizzled it on there. That's good enough. But work it in there. Then pour some barbecue sauce. I did it all over on this. And boy, it made a world of difference compared to the last one. My wife is happy because she doesn't have to cook this. She's kind of sick anyway. Sick in the head. But look at that. What do you think, Wendy?
Looks good.
What do you all think? Now what I'll do is I'll drizzle some barbecue sauce on it. Or I'll get a cup. I'll do a little bit of this I'm going to do a little bit of this to add flavor. This is the juices. I'm going to add a little, look at that. See? That's barbecue sauce, mustard, and the dry rub. And I'll just drizzle that on there a little bit. That'll keep it moist. I'll do a little bit more and that's it. Then I'm going to add barbecue sauce to make it flavorful, more flavorful because that, but look at that. What do you think, Wendy? Then I'm going to get the barbecue sauce. Again, we use Jack Daniels this time, but you can use anything. I'd rather use Gates, but I don't think my daughter will eat it because it's got a little bit of a tang to it. But Gates is pretty good. I just do a lot. I love barbecue sauce. My wife, I don't know about my wife, but this is Jack Daniels Original. This has a little bit of a bite. It's non-alcoholic for you alcoholics out there. Oops, I just swung it everywhere. Okay, then what I do is I mix it up again. You gotta mix it up, incorporate it. Look at this. Last time I made a big roast and I had too much left over, so I made a small roast. I'm hoping they leave some for us. But I think they will since I made fries. So, but anyways, that's how you do that. So if you like this video, David, I'm sorry I didn't film the first part, but it's real easy. Like I said, you rub the butt roast. Make sure you rub the butt. Porky Pig loves his butt rubbed real good. And you incorporate that mustard into the crevices. And like I said, if there's not too many crevices, score that meat, put some knife marks in it, and then you put the rub on there, and then the barbecue sauce, and then you let it cook for 6 to 7 hours. This has been Dakota and Family, and this is our cooking segment. Talk to you later. Dakota's feeling better.